Let's go!
The Bills play on Sunday, the Bills play on Sunday, the Bills play on Sunday. I'm so excited and I'm so nervous. Oh my goodness, I don't know what to do. Welcome to the weekend. Nick Karski and Zenski with you.
Oh boy.
I don't know. I mean, that's probably not where I should be starting on a day like today or a week like today. But man, I am just so excited for the Bills to be playing in the AFC Championship against the Chiefs on Sunday.
Well, listen, lots of big news to get to this week, which we'll get to in a little bit. But that was, a way to start the week, waking up Sunday morning and like, oh man, the Bills did it. Yeah. The Bills actually did it.
Yeah. I know.
That's so huge, man.
It's been a trip. It's been a wild trip, and a lot of Bills fans are just riding on cloud nine right now, just in the moment, enjoying every single second of it. But it's going to be a huge battle. So we'll get to the Bills talk in just a little while, and we're going to have a little bit of football fun later on in the show as well, because I want to test your knowledge on some things. You know how I like to do that every once in a while here on To the Weekend. Sometimes you fail miserably. Sometimes you're the golden boy.
Well, if it's football related, I know I'm going to fail miserably. So this should be fantastic.
It'll be easy. Don't worry whatsoever. Okay. Should we get to the headlines, though?
Yeah, lots to talk about.
Here's what you missed.
Well, obvious news to start off. We are recording the show on Wednesday, January 20th, which every 4 years, that is the day that a new president is inaugurated. So congratulations to the 46th president of the United States, Joseph R. Biden Jr., and Madam Vice President Kamala Harris. That's huge.
His middle initials are?
Joseph Robinette Biden.
How do you know? Okay, I guess I just don't pay
enough attention. Because I listen to the news.
I don't pay enough attention. It's just Joe Biden this whole time for me. I don't know.
Right. But obviously that's the big story. They were both sworn in as the new president and vice president today in a very different inauguration, obviously, with everything as opposed to anything we've seen in the past. No crowd stretching down the National Mall. Only, senior members of Congress and special delegates on the dais, all spread out 6 feet apart because of the pandemic. But regardless, at the end of the day, we have a new administration, and a lot of cool things happened during it too. Bernie Sanders was there, which we'll talk about in a little bit. He made some meme-worthy stuff.
Man, here. Sorry to interrupt you. I didn't get to watch any of the inauguration live as it happened, but holy hell, was my social media and my Twitter blowing up with 2 memes of Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, it was the meme of the day, and we'll talk about that in a second. But before we get to that, I want to acknowledge first of all just the groundbreaking stuff of Joe Biden becoming president after decades of public service, and then Kamala Harris becoming the first female vice president, first African American vice president, first South Asian vice president. Like, just huge day for our country in that regard.
Yeah.
But we had some performers there too. We had Lady Gaga, we had J-Lo, and we had Garth Brooks. So Lady Gaga was there to perform her rendition of the national anthem.
Should we get to that audio?
And we got a clip.
We're so gallantly streaming.
Not bad by Gaga. Here's what I'm going to say, though. I am a firm believer that it didn't compare to her Super Bowl, I think it was Super Bowl 50 rendition of the national anthem.
Yeah, was that when Bruno Mars did the halftime show?
No, that was when Coldplay. Well, Bruno Mars was, I think,
yes, he was there.
But it was Coldplay and Beyonce and Bruno Mars. Look, it was still phenomenal from what I have heard, and she's got one of the most gifted voices in the game. All right.
I mean, that was my thought when she first walked out there and started singing. I was like, oh man, this is good to listen to. Just somebody who just has pure talent.
Somebody who takes control of the stage, control of the moment, shows the emotions, and
she grabbed the gold microphone and just belted.
She had a gold microphone.
Gold microphone. Very Gaga.
Yeah, I mean, she did what she did.
We also had Jennifer Lopez there, who, so, because I first forgot she was going to be there, then I saw A-Rod on the day, so I was like, oh, well, she's probably not that far behind. And so she did a rendition of This Land Is Your Land, and we'll just play it, and we'll see what it is.
From sea to shining sea, una nación bajo Dios, indivisible, con libertad y justicia para todos. Let's get
Oh my God, J-Lo, give me a break. Give me a break with that. Come on.
I know.
Come on.
I know.
How did you feel about that?
It was a little cringeworthy.
A little cringeworthy?
A little cringeworthy.
Let's
because
sing a patriotic song and then all of a sudden throw my "Let's Get Loud, Let's Get Loud." That must have been the surprise A-Rod was talking about here over the last couple of days. I don't know where I heard it or where I saw it, but he was being interviewed and they essentially asked him, or no, I saw it on, he was on one of the late night talk shows, maybe with Jimmy Fallon, and he's like, you know what, there's going to be a big surprise when Jennifer performs.
That's not a big surprise. That's her taking one of her most famous songs, which is inappropriate for an inauguration. Could you imagine just like a dance beat starting?
How many beats per minute is that, by the way?
It's like 130.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, like it was, she sounded great. She was talented. I just thought that was a little like, okay, really? Like you got to make it about yourself.
Of course. It's Jennifer Lopez in the inauguration.
I know. I appreciate. I don't know what she said in Spanish. I appreciate it because it's the whole message of the day and of Biden's administration is unity. So I get that, but maybe a little short-sighted on her part. So that was the most of it from at least the happenings of the inauguration. Since then, we've seen Joe Biden take his place in the Oval Office, starting signing executive orders, and off to the presidency he goes. Yeah. While he's in the White House, though, the Secret Service is giving him some crap about his Peloton bike. Because as you know, Trump moves out, Biden moves in, all the stuff comes along with it, and I'm sure they need to say, here's what we're bringing with us. So he said, hey, I'm going to bring my Peloton bike. Secret Service said, not so fast, because it apparently poses a national security risk. Because it has a microphone and a camera in it.
I was just going to say that. Doesn't it have a microphone or something like that? It makes sense. I get it. It's a security risk. You can't do that.
No, I totally get it. So they obviously can't say, because Jenna was just saying this today. She was like, he's 78. He looks great, because they both do. Like Dr. Biden, 69. She looks fantastic.
Because they're using that Peloton.
Well, right. They're both so fit. And so they're obviously not going to say, no, you can't bring this into your White House, Mr. President. But apparently they're going to modify it so it's a little less of a national security risk, which I get, but I just thought that was amusing.
I see Biden as more of an elliptical person. I'm kind of surprised that he uses a Peloton. But then again, he is probably much richer than me and probably can afford a Peloton or even two. Yes. Comparatively. So
we'll see if it makes its way to the White House residence, but for now, at least the Secret Service needs to modify it.
Don't you think Secret Service, before we get to the next one, don't you think Secret Service is probably just giving them a load of BS just so they can be like, you can't use this, sir, just so they can use it? Because they're not going to shell out $2,000 or whatever it is for a Peloton.
No, but they also like I'm sure they go through regular training and have like gyms they have access to because they need to stay fit as part of their job. Like, you know.
That's true. Sorry, I interrupted. Continue.
You're fine. But from Peloton to Bernie Sanders, that was as we were talking about before.
Oh God.
Gotta love Bernie.
God.
He was one of the distinguished guests on the dais today at the inauguration, and boy, did the internet have some memes for him because he showed up looking like Grandpa Bernie Sanders in his very monochrome, like tan coat and his mittens. And he was sitting there in a chair. And if you're watching on YouTube, we'll throw up an image of this. And he just looked like he would rather be anywhere else. Which I get, it was kind of cold out, but like, come on, you're out of the presidential inauguration. And people just had a fantastic time making a meme out of it. They put him like on benches in Disneyland. They put him on New York City subways. A lot of people just went off and had a good Photoshop job with it. But one of the funny ones that I saw was like the caption was, "This could have been an email."
It kind of looked like
because like when
the image.
It was when you're sitting in the. Yeah.
It kind of looked like he was sitting inside MetLife Stadium and watching the 2-12 Jets go at it or something like that.
Anything,
30-degree day.
Like yeah, I mean, it was just, and we'll throw the link on in the show notes if you want to see the full list of memes here. But they photoshopped him into the Star Trek set. They photoshopped him again onto a New York City subway. Whole bunch of places, but it's good to see Bernie Sanders out and about.
And don't forget the camera one too, where he's holding his camera. Everybody started doing a meme with that. Even yours truly had a meme with that because of the news of Michael Brantley. I thought he was getting signed. Everybody thought he was getting signed to the Toronto Blue Jays, some baseball news. And it's like, nope, he's actually sticking around with the Houston Astros. So I used that meme of him staring awkwardly into a phone, kind of like half squinting his eyes like he can't believe the sight of what's happening.
Yep.
Used that today. I was very proud of myself.
I did see that one too. So you got to leave it to a national event like a presidential inauguration for the memes to come out. That's all I got.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Well, geez, you didn't tell me that.
I'm sorry, but I mean, I could talk more about the inauguration since it was the big. It's pretty much all I did with my
That's
day.
the only thing that people were talking about. Don't you work? Didn't you have like stuff to do today, like a real life job, so that you?
I did, but I did my work too. So if any of my colleagues are listening to this, I completely did my work. But
me too.
Coincidentally, the amount of emails that I got between like 11 and 12:30 when the inauguration started quieted down really quickly. So I like to think a lot of my colleagues were also doing the same. But good day for America.
Yes, this Sunday will be a good day for America when the one and only red, white, and blue Buffalo Bills clinch a spot into the Super Bowl and head down to Tampa for Super Bowl 55.
Whoa. Whoa.
What?
Okay.
What happened?
You usually are not this cocky. You were crapping yourself last week.
Oh, I
so
am.
Nervous.
I absolutely am. I still am. But I could still be hopeful and jolly in thinking that the Buffalo Bills are going to squeak out the victory against the ever tough Patrick Mahomes and the KC offense.
Are we getting optimism from Nick Karski?
No, not at all. It's a masked optimism. It's basically me putting on a charade for everybody to take as a facade, to be honest. So, yes, I am very much looking forward to Sunday's game. I hope a lot of people check on myself and my well-being afterwards, win, lose, or draw, because it's going to be just absolutely a terrifying 60 minutes of football.
Well, obviously, like we said, now the last 2 or 3 weeks with the however many playoff games there have been, we'll be thinking about you. Go Bills. And let's see if they can pull out another W.
Well,
I know.
And the thing is that here's the reason why I'm trying not to be nervous, because I'm trying to look at it from the perspective of, hey, I should be happy and content with where they are. Yes and no. I'm happy with the fact that they're here, because at one point before the season started, there were so many people who actually thought the New England Patriots had the best quarterback in the AFC East in Cam Newton, and thought that they were going to go to the promised land once again and make a deep run into the playoffs. That obviously didn't happen. There were so many people who thought the Bills would finish with an 8-8 record. Not really do much this season. Maybe just finish about, like literally middle of the pack and be an average football team with everybody else. That didn't happen. This team is such a complete team, top to bottom, in all three phases of the game, and they do all they do all of that stuff right. Now, granted, sometimes the running game won't be there, and that'll be exposed. Sometimes the rush defense won't be there for a few quarters, and that'll get exposed. But when it's all said and done, they still find ways to grit things out. And I know that sounds so corny, and I know I'm throwing out a bunch of football cliches here, but that's totally true. They find ways to get the job done.
I mean, isn't that the description that you hear from any championship sports team? Is that they just kept fighting hard. They kept playing their best game, and that's because you really can't say much more than that at the end of the day. If you really want to boil it down, it's like they just played well, and they had a good team chemistry.
Yeah, and that's what it's been for this team, especially since mid-December. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. And speaking of hearing things kind of, from football coaches and players and stuff like that, do you know what a cadence is in football?
I'm sure I could piece it together. Isn't it the what the quarterback will say before they start
there you
to play?
go. Exactly.
Yeah.
See, you got it right. And you're so nervous about what we're going to end up doing here in just a couple of moments. But yeah, it's what the quarterback says to try and, get the ball, snapped and the action to get going. But it's also used as a way to, kind of, I don't want to say distract the defense, but
audible.
Just so that, everybody on the offense is on the same page. The defense is trying to pick up when the ball is going to be snapped and obviously play on from there. So, yes, that's what a cadence is. You'll hear different things. You'll hear, it was very famous when he was still playing Peyton Manning. Everybody would always hear him say, Omaha, Omaha. So that's when you knew the ball was just about ready to get snapped or it would be snapped. But there are different cadences that different quarterbacks use. And some of them are really, really normal. You hear, like in the video games, Blue 52, that always seems to be a common one. Or sometimes you hear the most obscure things where it's somebody's name. So, Zenski, today, I want to test your knowledge and ask you, is it a cadence in the National Football League?
All right.
All right, so I'm going to give you a list of 12 cadences here. Some of them might be real. Some of them may not be real. It's your job to let me know, is it a cadence?
Okay.
Do you think you can handle this?
Always.
And you thought this was going to be so difficult and it was going to test your football knowledge and you were just going to fail miserably.
Well, it's difficult in the sense that if I was a bigger football fan, I feel like I might know some of these. But
speaking of big Bills football fans, it helps that I'm drinking one of these guys heading into the weekend.
A Labatt Blue.
Yep. Go Bills. I'm keeping it the Bills' way. So, is it a cadence, Zenski? Stone Cold.
No.
That's right.
Okay.
You got it right. You're 1 for 1 so far.
Perfect.
Is it a cadence? Dilly Dilly.
Yes.
You're 2 for 2.
No, I'm not.
You're 2 for 2 so far.
Dilly Dilly!
Hear it?
Dilly Dilly!
It's probably Aaron
That's
Rodgers.
fantastic.
It always ends up being Aaron Rodgers for some reason or another.
Okay.
All right, third one. Rambo.
Yes.
3 for 3.
Rambo! 59! Get on the ball! Get on the ball! Rambo!
Who's that?
I have no idea who it is.
Okay.
I
all
don't
right.
remember. Next one for you. George Bush. Is it a cadence? Yes or no? George Bush,
No.
is it a cadence?
No.
4 for 4.
Am I 4? Wow.
Look at you go. All right, next one. Rob Kardashian. Is it a cadence?
Yes.
You are killing this game right now.
Look at this.
We're just speeding through this, and you're just killing it right now.
I'm just good when I don't need to think about it. These are just blind guesses.
50-50 shots. So far,
Right?
you're a perfect 5 for 5 as we're almost halfway through the game.
Rob Kardashian.
The question bears, is it a cadence? The cadence is Kershaw.
Yes.
Wow.
No. Really?
Give me Kershaw here, Kershaw, man!
I feel like that has to be was that the Rams?
No, it's
Rams
if
quarterback?
I'm not mistaken, that was Matthew Stafford, because I think they used to be old high school teammates when they used to play baseball. So I think it's
In
one
California.
from the
Yeah.
Detroit Lions. So
Because he went to Stanford.
who?
Stafford? No.
Oh, I don't remember where Matt Stafford went to college, man.
I'm just thinking of Kershaw in LA. Anyway, move
Old
on.
times,
Move on.
old times. All right,
Yeah.
seventh one for you. Is it a cadence? Koufax.
Yes.
You're wrong.
Broke the streak.
Wow.
Ah.
7 in a row, or 6 in a row, excuse me. You were doing so well for so long.
I feel like that's a good word, and like Sandy Koufax, he's a legend. So.
He's the only kind of Koufax that I know of. At least.
right.
Next one. Is it a cadence? Rex Ryan.
Yes.
Wow. If I'm not mistaken, that was Tom Brady against the Buffalo Bills. When Rex Ryan was no longer the head coach, and everybody laughed at the fact that the Buffalo Bills once had Rex Ryan as their head coach.
That's just an. Yeah. If you got to take a dig at a NFL coach.
I'm impressed. You're doing very good so far. You're doing very good so far. Cadence number
All right.
9. New York Bozo.
No.
I'm so sorry. This is from Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, check New York Bozo! New York Bozo!
That's
Didn't
good.
expect that one, did you?
I did not.
Next one. Cadence. Is it a cadence? I should say, excuse me. Ric Flair.
Yes.
Got it.
Ric Flair!
You can hear that one crystal clear.
Ric Flair!
Yeah, that's good.
Ric Flair!
It's good. All right.
No idea who it is, but
You don't know who Ric Flair is?
no, I was gonna say I don't know who the quarterback is.
You gave me a heart attack for a second there.
Dude, don't worry. I was because I wanted to. You said crystal clear. I was like, oh, who's the voice?
Sorry. I just had a moment there. It's not the beer. Is it a cadence? Dwayne Johnson.
Yes. Oh, come on.
So
He's too
close.
cool. He's too cool to be. Were you on a wrestling kick there?
You could say that. You could absolutely say I was on a wrestling kick. And I came up with that one on my own. Somebody
There you
should
go.
pay me the big old bucks to let that be their cadence.
I feel that's a good cadence.
Dwayne Johnson! All right, last one for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Eleanor Rigby.
Yes.
No!
Come on.
Fooled again. So congratulations, though. You passed. 8 for 12.
All right, not too bad.
Not too shabby whatsoever. That's a good completion percentage right there.
Yeah. Eleanor Rigby. Oh, dude, for you even though I know you love the Beatles, but come on, you can't just tease that. If that's either a cadence or it's not.
That's the point of all of what we were just doing.
I know, but like I feel like it's so good. It's such a good one. It really should be one. So in another life when I'm an NFL quarterback, I'll add it to my list.
Well, it feels like it should be a cadence, or maybe not. I don't know. Zenski.
I'm tired, man. Come on.
You know what should be a cadence?
Anybody who's watching that Nickelodeon for the game needs their head examined.
What a nut,
Chris
man.
Russo. He is a nut.
Chris Russo,
We'll talk about him more next week.
Why? Is he going to be back in the news again for something?
No, because you just sent me a clip from the Dan Le Batard show where he ranted and raved, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, well, I mean that we'll only do that if Tom Brady for some reason makes it to the Super Bowl against the Buffalo Bills.
Okay, deal.
God, that's what worries me about this whole thing is that
you're playing Brady.
Is that the Packers are going to blow it against the Bucks, the Bills are going to win it against the Chiefs, and it's going to end up being Tom Brady with a brand new team trying to stick it to the Buffalo Bills like he has for 20 years.
Yeah, that'll be salt in the wounds.
Man, I will be so mad if that's the case. I mean, it'll be sweeter if the Buffalo Bills can, for some reason, win the Lombardi Trophy and everything like that. But man, if it ends up being against the Buccaneers, I'm gonna, what my pants, and I'm gonna be so angry and so annoyed.
Yeah, I don't, man. I mean, I don't want that for you as a diehard Bills fan. That's
well, because like I said, we've seen as a Bills fan, we've seen this guy just beat up on Buffalo for so many years. Like, for so many years. We've just seen him just do so much damage against the Bills. And for once, he's out of the AFC East. For once, that leads the path to the Bills, to winning the division, and then maybe the conference. I don't know. But if it ends up being a Brady versus Bills Super Bowl, forget about it. You're gonna have to check in on me like on a Tuesday night getting ready for the Super Bowl.
Well, because here's when I was thinking about the outcomes of the NFL playoffs, I knew like Brady was obviously making headway, and it was like, oh yeah, he's in the playoffs. Like, I'm not too surprised, but the fact that he's now gone multiple rounds in the playoffs, it's just saying that, oh, he is that good. It's no longer like, oh, he was good just because of the Patriots, or he was good because of Belichick, or he was good because of another reason. It's just, he is just one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the NFL, and you can't take that away from him. As much as it pains you to hear that as a Bills fan, you gotta admit that the guy is talented with a football.
Absolutely. And that's the problem, is I think that, somebody who wins a lot, somebody who's always a winner, that's what really just makes anybody mad. And it might not even just be a sports conversation. I mean, one of the reasons why I don't like Taylor Swift is because she wins all the awards. I don't think she should, but she does. And she wins this, that, and the other, and everybody thinks that she's the doll of American music right now, and it's like, no, that's not the case. But that's the reason why I don't like her.
It's funny though, because I've had similar reactions when like I've been watching an award show. It's like, before I started watching Schitt's Creek, they swept at the Emmys this past year. I'm like, what is so good about this show? Like, and it's almost like just out of principle, the fact that so many people are crazy about it. So I don't want to just become a bandwagoner, right? But then I started watching, and it's like, okay, well, there's obviously a reason why it swept up, because it was really funny. And I've reacted like that to other shows too, like in musical artists, and I actually share the same mentality. Why I don't like Taylor Swift is because it's not that I don't think she's talented. It's just I think that she's like cliche in the world of music. It's like, oh, Taylor Swift did this, she did that, she's blah. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's. But I think that's kind of our nature as humans, is that we just don't like people who are. It sounds terrible.
Better than
who
us.
Are winners. Yeah, and people who just seem to win, And because people don't like LeBron James, people don't like Novak Djokovic, people don't like, Michael Jordan for some reason. People don't like, the list goes on and on and on. Especially,
Right.
I mean, I'm using a lot of sports references here because that's where it's the most prominent. But I feel like that's the case.
Well, I'm going to try to be more open-minded this year. I'm not usually one for New Year's resolutions, and we are 3 weeks into January at this point. But I'm going to make it a point to try to look past those stigmas this year, as we all should, I think. I don't think you need to put labels on people. And, I've probably judged Taylor Swift a little too much by, not giving her the time of day by even fully listening to her albums and whatnot. But
Taylor Swift, who cares? I mean, jeez.
you're going to be strong against her then.
Just want to wear a cardigan. Just okay.
I do agree that something like that. Have you seen the cardigan commercial?
Along with me, okay, yeah. We'll never, ever, 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 ever get back together. Okay, yeah, whatever.
Okay, but real question though. Do you think it was a good career move for her to make the switch from country to the 1989 album? Or no, was it the Red album?
I don't care. I don't
care.
Don't
you don't
care.
even. You were such a fan of music. You don't even have a hot take on this.
My hot take was that she was going to go from country to pop, and then back to country again. I feel like I don't even know what album she's on right now, but I feel like this folklore album that she did is the closest thing to country that she's going to get back into.
Probably, yeah, because I think she got so many fans and so famous with her pop stuff, she can't go too far away from that. But with that rationale, she also got so famous because of her early country days. So it depends on how you look at it.
Yeah. I don't know. Just doesn't do it for me. Just feel like winners, just successful people. Just sometimes grind my gears. What can I say?
Speaking of successful people, JT is rocking out on the virtual inauguration concert on the TV right now.
What's he rocking out to?
I don't know. I obviously don't have the sound on because I'm talking to you.
Of course you don't.
But I will go back and watch this later because it looks like he is just doing his Justin Timberlake thing.
You were telling me a story, just to completely change the subject here. You were telling me a story earlier that there's some bakery that just opened in Disney, or there's some sort of...
Where are you going with this?
No, I'm just completely transitioning to something completely off topic here.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with this thing?
So, and we've talked about this on the show, but Jenna and I follow Disney. We love Disney. And so there's a bakery in Central Florida called Gideon's. And they're known for these massive cookies, cookies a good inch and a half thick, covered with chips and other pieces of chocolate and candy, what have you. They recently opened their first location on Walt Disney World property at Disney Springs, which is the outdoor dining and retail space there. To much fanfare, because people who live in Central Florida, go to Central Florida, rant and rave about it. So they had a soft opening. It went well. They closed temporarily to refine a couple things. It's all virtual queue to get in. People showed up for the grand opening. Line, hundreds and hundreds of people long, even with 6 feet in between everyone. So obviously they couldn't have that many people standing in line throughout the whole day. So they had them sign up for their virtual wait list. Come back when we have a spot for you. They cut it off after a little while of being open because the wait ended up being 11 hours.
Good God almighty.
11 hours to get cookies and cake, and they sell cold brew and other things, right? It's all really good from what we've heard.
So wait. When you're saying this is a virtual line, this is people can still go out and about and then eventually go to try and...
It's go home, take a nap for 4 hours, come back when we call you. We'll be ready. And so it got me thinking, because Jenna and I have never had this, but we're making it a point the next time we go to Disney to try it because all the Disney bloggers are talking about it, and people have been talking about it for years. Right, if we could get a spot in the queue. So it got me thinking, though, would you ever wait in line 11 hours for something, food related or something else? And if so, what is that thing?
I did not wait 11 hours in line. I think I waited close to 8 hours in a line when I was a sophomore in high school to meet Cal Ripken Jr. at a book signing.
Ooh. I could see that.
But see, that was a little ridiculous. You got to understand that this was at a AAA Rochester Red Wings baseball game. He was there to, sign books with his brother Billy. They'd written a baseball book for kids.
Yeah.
And I'm not even kidding when I say you had to battle the elements. So it went from being a cold day to a rainy day to a sleeting day to a snow day to a sunny day. It was some of the worst timing I've ever had in my entire life.
Where was this?
Rochester.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Central New York can do that sort of weather.
Yeah, that's more of. But yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I was going to say.
Don't get into the New York geography with me again.
Oh, son of! If you want me to get back into
Western New York, I'm sorry.
I don't know if it's really Western New York, because here's the thing: everybody considers it.
Lord.
Everybody in government considers it to be the Finger Lakes, but to me, that's not the Finger Lakes.
But didn't we talk about how the Finger Lakes are in Central New York?
To me, the Finger Lakes more encompass the Central New York Southern Tier region of where we are. So, but anyway, what I was saying is that, yes, had to battle the elements and sit just in line under an umbrella, freezing cold, take turns with my sister and my parents going to the car, and we waited, I think, close to 8 hours just to get a quick 30-second, hey, how are you? Thanks so much. Greeting with one of my all-time favorite baseball players.
I mean, I could see that as a kid because, if you're just waiting in line as a kid, I feel like time passes quicker when you're in your adolescence and you're like, oh, I'm just waiting to meet one of my baseball heroes.
He was my idol.
Yeah. I mean, good guy to meet. Holds a hell of a record for MLB But that's wild.
Would you do anything like that then?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Probably not. I don't have that attention span or wherewithal to wait that sort of time for something. And I'm just I look at things more practically. Like going back and comparing this to Disney, all the time, new big rides and attractions open up at Walt Disney World, and they're always 6-hour wait. 240 minutes or 360 minutes to get in on the attraction.
Yeah.
It's I would never wait that long. I will try to drum up the wherewithal to say, okay, I'll come back after people have ridden it in a year and do it at that point. But no, I'm never going to be the first person to jump in line and wait 8 hours to buy an iPhone or to do this, that, or the other thing. I'll wait my turn a little bit down the line.
I'd like to show you something quickly that I was doing as you were telling us whether or not.
Dude, come on.
It is a map of New York State that I have drawn. I have specifically labeled where Western New York is. I have, at least for the time being, included Rochester as a part of it. The Finger Lakes are labeled just above the southern tier. That would include lakes such as Seneca, Cayuga, Keuka, etc. Central New York a little bit more towards the west, and certainly much more north to include Syracuse and a little bit of the I don't know what's up there, Madison County or something. I don't know. Who cares? Nobody likes Central New York. And then the rest, obviously, you've got the capital region here. You would have where am I? The North Country up here. This is very difficult to do while being on Zoom, but. I would just like to point out my map of New York State looks pretty darn good, all things considered, hand drawn by yours.
Not
truly.
If you get down to where I come from. You
just look like a dog's tail, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say, you took a dump on Nassau and Suffolk County and all of the 5 boroughs,
coincidentally, it looks like a dog's tail. That's usually what comes near a dog's tail, a dump.
Yeah, I mean, if everything's working properly.
What is this guy? If everything
this guy, Nickelodeon.
The Nickelodeon. Or the Nickelodeon, that's what it was. Not the Nickelodeon, the Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon.
God, I feel like we should just do a tribute show to Chris Russo and Mike Francesa sometime.
where one of us is Frances and the other is the Mad
Not
Dog?
even a tribute show like that. Not like a rock band tribute show where we're a tribute band. I'm just saying we just play their audio over and over and over again, and we got to somehow, some way, get the rights to all of their audio so that we could just play it willy nilly and just laugh hysterically at the stupidity of it all.
Did you, because you know enough about New York's, like Metro New York sports, did you ever listen to Steve Summers on WFAN?
Steve Summers.
Okay, so like that is the
I never
broadcaster that
listened to
reminds
him, but I know how he sounded.
You know how he sounds. That is the
Yeah.
broadcaster that reminds me of my childhood, because when my dad and I would be driving
Probably
back
listen to
from
him
Met
after the
games
Mets game or something like that.
all the time,
yeah.
because we would leave Shea Stadium or Citi Field, we'd be driving back home, and it was like Ed Coleman doing the recap.
Yeah.
Right, on the fan, and then you would go over to Steve Summers, and I can't remember what he would say, but he, like any good broadcaster, had his taglines and stuff, and it's like, "Oh, good evening to you and how you be," I think is what he said.
I don't remember.
It was something like that, but like, man, he was a broadcasting treasure to me growing up, along with Bob Murphy and Gary Cohen's still on the air, and I can't wait for baseball season to start.
Speaking of treasures, the North Country, very, very nice, pleasant
Good
place, I'm
Lord.
sure, up there. You've got the capital region that ends up being right around here. You've got upstate New York that ends up being right around here. Then you have downstate, which is all of that stuff down there, including New York City and Long Island. Look at this. Look at this map I just drew. Look at how great it is.
What is your point by doing? You did this in show 2 or 3, or what's your point of doing this again?
That we're well past show number 2 or 3, and I need to revisit it so those who missed out can actually see what a map of New York State looks like.
Fair.
Look at this. This is just pretty much perfect. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with this Rochester, New York area, because it's not quite Western New York. They're just kind of
that's
no
weird.
man's land here, okay?
Well, that's like Oneonta and everything over there.
Oneonta,
right?
no, Oneonta's like way, way out.
No, it's not, is it?
Oneonta's like right around here.
BS. No way.
Yeah, it's like
Hold on.
no, Oneonta is in the southern tier, but it's like at the extreme part of the southern tier. It's in no man's land.
All right. I'll look it up and we'll talk about this next week.
Okay, good. And then you'll see that I'm absolutely right. And I know exactly where everything is on a map.
Why does each show turn into you quizzing me on stuff from now? It's you questioning my geography. It's you.
I'm not questioning your geography. I'm just saying I know my New York geography.
I'm gonna find something to quiz you on for next week and surprise you with.
I'll ace the test, Captain.
I don't doubt that you will.
Hey, wish me luck. Just do it real quick. Just
Hey, good luck. Josh Allen's got this. That's my quarterback, baby. That's your quarterback. Good luck to you and the Bills.
God, I'm gonna need it. We're gonna need it.
Hey, you stay classy, my friend.
Stay classy, my friend.
Peace.
See ya.